What the hell is it, and how come I've never heard about it, and what a wonderful piece of history. It's been written with extraordinary charm by Charles Darwent, and the person, the more important person who had the vision to publish it is Mr. Darwent. Anybody can write a book, but you've got to publish it. And they're going to both give you a little talk about the later. I'm just going to give you a very quick whiz-through about the exhibition. Stella Snead who moved to America sometime in the late 30s, early 40s, and Stella is represented by Cathy Fail, this lady over here, who's come all the way from Wisconsin, and just for tonight. And Cathy has been looking after the Stella Snead estate for a couple of decades, and so thank you very much to Cathy Fail. And Saïd, who's probably a complete discovery to a lot of us, and thank you to Charles to introducing me to Sophia. Sophia is Anne's daughter, and she's been looking after these wonderful drawings that you can see in the end room. Thirdly, we have the work of Sari Dienes, the work on that wall on the right-hand side over there. And Sari, an artist, came to London via Paris. All these artists were in the Ozenfant school. Sorry, I should have said that. Probably all friends, probably all very close and intimate. And Sari is represented by Barbara Pollitt, who has come all the way from New York City. And I should say Sophia has come all the way from Gloucestershire. Finally, to complete this little group of women artists who feature so heavily in Charles' book, some sketches by Leonora Carrington coming from the estate of Sari Dienes.
Yeah, this was a gift from Leonora to Shah.
Yeah. And in case anybody wants to throw accusations of sexism at me, there is a work by Monsieur Ozenfant over there, just to balance out the gender.
Said you would, help us with promoting the books. I was delighted that you were better than any other PR agency I've ever come across.
Of course I want you all to buy it because I'm, greedy and poor, but also because I want you to fall in love with Monsieur Ozenfant. He is just the most delightful person. He lived at a time in European and French and world history that was very bleak and has various resonances of history now, I think. Although it's primarily an art history book, it's also just a history book. And Ozenfant, he was secretly funded by the French government of the day, that was run by a coalition of left-leaning parties known as the Front Populaire. 90 years later, France is run by a coalition of left-wing parties called the Front Populaire. Plus ça change. There was the threat of, the rising threat of fascism in the form of a little German with a toothbrush moustache, and a kind of fat orange American with airbrushed hair there. But it kind of throws Ozenfant himself into